Hey all, welcome to today's lesson for pre-algebra. We are going to pick up where we left off yesterday when it comes to slope-intercept form and graphing things that are in slope-intercept form. Okay, so first off, what is slope-intercept form again from yesterday? If you remember, that was y equals mx plus b, where m is the slope and b is our y-intercept. Okay, so first off, at the beginning of this lesson, we're going to do a quick review of kind of yesterday, just making sure we've got it. Then we're going to kind of focus on two different things. One thing is we're going to start throwing in different scale problems, which can be challenging for a lot of people. And then the other thing we're going to start plugging in or working on is slopes. And you had one like this in the homework last night, but slopes that are undefined and zero slopes. So what do those equations of the lines look like? We know what their slope is, but we don't know what the equation. Equation means they have to have an equals in it. So what does that equation look like? So those are kind of the two new things that we're going to focus on. Okay, so first off, let's do a quick review of yesterday. Remember, first thing is that we pull out the m and the b, the slope and the y-intercept. So here our slope is 2/5 and our y-intercept is -5. And if you remember from yesterday, we start at the b, the y-intercept. So we find -5 on our y-intercept. That means down 5. And we put a point there or a star yesterday. And then as you get comfortable with this, you can just put a point. And then from there, we use our slope to rise and run. And remember, we always run to the right. So it's positive, that means up 2, and right 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we'll do it again to get another point, up 2, right 5. And if I want to go the other direction now, I can do opposite once I've gone to the right at least once. So down 2, right 5. Down to right 5. And that is what your line should look like. Okay, so let's try 2 more. Again, just to kind of quickly review from yesterday. Pull out our slope and our y-intercept. We should always have 2 numbers here. So in this case, our b is 7 and our slope is that ninja 1, so -1. And if you remember from yesterday, we make it a fraction so that we have a rise and a run. Again, we start at our b, so we're going to start at 7. I'm going to put a star there for the starting point. And then we use our slope to go from there. So it's negative, that means down, and the bottom number always to the right. Okay, so down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1. Again, you can also go opposite of up and left 1 to get a few more points. All right, go ahead and pause now and see if you can do this last one from yesterday, and be careful, it's a little tricky. All right, this is what you should have gotten. Our slope is not 2, because remember, it's always mx, and m is our slope. So our slope this time is not 4 either, it's -4. And our y-intercept was the +2, so that one was a little tricky. Our slope, remember, we want to write as a fraction. Okay, so b is our starting point, so we're going to go up 2 on the y-axis. And we're going to use our slope to rise and run, but it's negative, so we're falling and always to the right. So from the star, go down 1, 2, 3, 4, and to the right 1. Down 1, 2, 3, 4, to the right 1. Also could go up 1, 2, 3, 4, left 1. And that is what that graph should look like. Okay, so now let's get into the new stuff. We're going to do the same thing we just did there, but our graphs are going to have a different scale. So we're going to have to be careful when we're doing the graphing part. Okay, we're still going to pull out the m and the b, just like we done the other one. So here we have a slope of, remember, it's mx, so 8, and a y-intercept of 20. Make our slope a fraction, so 8/1. Now here's where you kind of have to be careful. So b is still our starting point, just like before. Our y-axis is no longer right in the middle like you guys are used to. Okay, it has been shifted all the way over to the left side on these. Okay, so we want to find 20 on that y-intercept, which is right there. So that's our first point. And then I'm going to use my slope to get some more points. So we have a rise of 8 and a run to the right of 1. Now, kind of do some math, and if you need to, you can use a calculator out to the side. 20 plus 8, because we're going to go up 8, is 28. So I need to go up to the value of 28, which is right here, and I need to go over one value. And so if you want to get more points, you can keep doing that of adding the 8 and over 1. Or you can kind of go with the pattern of that went up 1, 2, 3, 4 boxes, which that makes sense because if I go down here, the scale is going up by 2. So every box was going up 2 in value. So I went up 4. Again, or you could keep adding 8 to get the next one of 36, which again would be up 1, 2, 3, 4 over 1. And that would be our line. Okay, if you want to pause here and try this one on your own, go for it. And this is what your answer should be. Our slope is 10 over 3, and our y-intercept is 20, just like last time. So we're going to start at 20 on our y, which would be right there. And then to get more points, we rise 10 and run to the right 3. So when I rise 10, 20 plus 10 gives me 30, so that's really just one box. And I have to run to the right 3. So 1, 2, 3. So that's up 1, right 3. Up 1, right 3. And we would continue that pattern. And that would be that line. Okay, so that was one new objective that I wanted to cover today. And then the other one are special cases. Okay, so what I mean by special cases, so far, every problem that we've done has had a y and an x. Sometimes we have negatives in there and things like that. Sometimes it looked like we didn't have both the slope and y-intercept. So sometimes like that, but we still had a y-intercept of 0. Okay, so those are not special cases. On all of those, we're going to have a slope and we're going to have a y-intercept. When I am talking about special cases, I'll show you this on the next slide here in just a second. I am talking about when there's only one variable. So it's either going to look like this, y equals 2, or let's say x equals 2. Again, it could be a different number, not necessarily 2, but there is only one variable in the problem. That's what I'm talking about, special cases. Okay, so again, it says that this is when we only have one variable. So we're going to first off identify which variable it is, and we're going to find that axis. Is it the x-axis or is it the y-axis? Once we know what axis it is, we're going to then find that number on that axis. And last step, we are going to make a T to actually cross the axis. Okay, so let's see what this looks like. Okay, so y equals 4. Again, it's special because one variable. That's how we can tell right away. So that means it's either going to have a 0 slope or it's going to be an undefined slope. So we have to decide if it's going to be going up and down or if this line is going to be going straight across. Okay, so we're going to follow those steps. First, identify which axis it is. Well, it says y equals, so I need to find my y-axis. Okay. Second steps, look at the number. It says 4, so I need to find 4 on my y. And since my y goes up and down, I either go up 4 or down 4. Since it's positive, that means up 4. Okay, last step then is to make a T with a given axis. So they gave us y that goes up and down. I need to make a T with it. Since y is going up and down, I'm going across. This has a 0 slope. And that's what the line should look like. All right, let's try another one. Step 1, identify the axis. This one is x equals, unlike that last one, so I'm going to find my x-axis. It gives us the number 6. X-axis goes either left or right. Since it's positive, I'm going to go right 6. Okay. Again, look at your x-axis, which goes left to right. My line has to go opposite that. So instead of left and right, it's going up and down. And that's what that line looks like. All right, same thing again. Identify your axis. This is X again. Now find the number on that. Again, X-axis goes left and right. Since it's negative, I'm going left 2. And again, since X-axis goes left and right, my line has to go opposite. So my line is going up and down. And that's what that line looks like. Okay, pause here and try this one on your own and see if you can get it. Here is what the answer should be. Find your y-axis. Again, y goes up and down. Find 8 on your y. Since it's positive, I go up 8. Since y goes up and down, we go opposite. We go left and right. This should have been your answer. Okay, so let's try another one. If you got it wrong, try x equals 1. If you got it right, try x equals 0. Go ahead and pause now. And here are what your answers are. So if you had x equals 1, find your x. I guess both of them, you would find your x. On the top one, you would find a 1 on your x. And since x goes left and right, we have to go opposite. We are going up and down. So that would be the first one. The second one, we would find 0 on our x. And again, since x goes left and right, we would go up and down. It would be that pink line there, which is always a tricky one. All right, that is it for today's lesson. Again, please don't hesitate to reach out if you're struggling with this. And there is a homework assignment for tonight. All right, see you guys soon.